Parry Talks. Welcome back. I'm here today with the one, probably one of the most anticipated episodes ever. It's been too long. It's a long time in the works. I reckon the first time I asked this man to come on Parry Talks was like last November. Yeah. But you know what? It's July. We've made it. We got the one, the only, my twin brother, Human Movement. How are you, G?
Hey mate, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good.
That's
bit
good.
Noisy, but it is Saturday morning, so
Yeah,
it's just the way it goes.
there's always going to be a bit of head noise on a Saturday morning, but that's all right. We get through it.
I'm starting a new tradition with you.
Okay.
Every episode from now on, at the start, I'm going to give my guest a special little present.
Okay.
And today's present, a couple of stickers from our faithful of Lesh.
Oh, thank you so much. I've got about 50 of these already at home, but I'll add it to the collection.
But yeah, that's a good place to start.
That's great. Oh, pleasure.
Show the camera.
Here we go. So this is a record label, if you weren't aware.
If you want to know. How did that, apparently there's a bit of an interesting story of how the relationship started with Of Leisure, and maybe a bit more serious, why were they, do you think, the right fit for Human Movement at the time that, you know, you did join arms with them?
I guess it was them. I met Jack through like a couple nights out, and Jack runs Of Pleasure, or sort of like heads it, and he was sort of like talking to me that night and being like sort of showing interest in wanting to put music out with me, and we ended up going back to like a place, and I showed him like a bunch of demos, and I guess he just showed like such a keen interest in the project, and I'd never really had, I guess, a record label show that much sort of interest or passion in my music before, and I guess that's always like a big sort of number one for me. If like I guess the label that's putting out your music needs to be just as passionate about what you're making as you. So I'm super happy with going with Of Leisure so far. I think they've done really great with my past releases and upcoming releases as well. So yeah, I think that was the big thing.
Amazing. Yeah, and I feel like, I know you probably reflect on this as well, where it's like the personal connection's so important. Like on paper, you know, a label could offer you so much, or anything could offer you so much, whether it's like a collaboration or like literally anything in the music industry, where on paper so much can seem so good, but the personal connection, like a personal relationship with like humans involved, is so important, I reckon. Yeah,
definitely. I know, like I think it's so important. Like Jack is one of my best friends, is my manager now. I think you really do need to have that personal bond with the person that you're going to be working with. And I think that's what you find in major labels, like all these art, like it seems really good on paper to get signed to a major label, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you're not making them money, they're not going to show the same sort of passion to an artist that is going to make them money. So you sort of just get lost you're like a needle in a haystack, essentially.
Exactly. Speaking of personal relationships, brand new studio, new little workspace.
Yeah.
In the whole big Finer Things office, Finer Things family.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And I think the Finer Things sort of community has a couple alumni, or like, you know, close friends and associates, and, you know, I think we're both some of them.
Yeah, definitely.
I just want to wonder, you know, how did you meet, say, James Pep and the Finer Things crew? And maybe a bit of a throwback to that warehouse that they threw with you.
Where did I meet him? I can't even remember. Was it when they booked me the first time?
You're talking to the wrong
I'm asking
you.
Were you there?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. I think I might have met him, like James Pepper specifically, like a couple. Funnily enough, his brother was in the same year at my primary school, so I went to primary school with his older brother. So I mean, I'd always known of him, and then I guess like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Fuck, it's that long ago.
Yeah.
I must have bumped into him, and I know him and Arthur do the finer things, and they've always, I guess, been big supporters of the Human Movement Project, which has been great. And they booked us for a show at the Red Rattler. Like similar to Oblige, I just get along super well with that crew. So like, me and James just decided to go Harvey's on a studio in the Finer Things office as well. So it's nice to not have to make beats in the bedroom anymore. And I guess we're decking it out, which is really cool. I think your productivity when you're in an actual in an actual studio making music, and you don't have a pile of dirty clothes next to your studio monitors, I think it does help, and it sort of makes you hone in a bit more on what you're doing and why you're there.
Yeah, big time. And I think this might be a bit of a controversial question, but I don't know, we'll start here, not controversial. When you do make music, are you very just laptop oriented, everything on the laptop, or do you like a lot of hardware and a lot of things? Because I see it both sides for a lot of producers.
I'm super in the box, so like I'd be lying to you if I said I like play with all this different hardware and stuff. Like, I'd say 90% of my music is made with VSTs, samples, all done inside the laptop, because it's just I personally feel like I have a lot more control over what I can do over those elements. I do like tinker with some hardware here and there, but like VSTs are like 1/50th of the price of like a good synth, and like you're gonna get a pretty close sound to what that synth sounds like, and it's just like so I personally, I'm like, I'm just gonna save my money, and like I can get an almost exact same result as what a $3,000 Moog would give me.
So the question is the gear overrated?
That's a good question. I guess
we could tackle it from a couple angles.
The gear. Look, if it just comes down to what works for you. If you have a really good workflow using hardware, like buy heaps of hardware. But I'm just super quick on the laptop. Like that's sort of how I made music. I've always had like a couple of synths here and there, but it's just like, some people that use Ableton specifically make their music in the live view, but like I've just never used the live view unless I've been doing a live performance. I'm always in the session view. So
each to their own.
It really just comes down to workflow. So I'm not going to tell you like it has to be done this way, but session view for me is that's the go.
Session view.
The session view.
I find that super interesting, mainly because, or not mainly because, but the music, especially recently over the past year, has been quite, cinematic, atmospheric, like grandiose. Yeah. And, the fact that that's not limited by, the fact that you can make 90% of it through just the keyboard or whatever on your computer is pretty exciting, I think, anyway. Yeah. Speaking of that though, obviously the past year's been one of the most hectic for you yet. Could say like a transformative period, to say the least, with like a couple singles, 3 singles, a couple remixes now. It sort of feels like the transition phase is, almost over. How does it feel? Is it like a relief now, or do you feel like it's like an ever-present just like grind for you moving forward?
At the moment, I'm super happy with where I guess the project's at. In terms of how, like, what my sound is and stuff, I think I've sort of managed to, I guess, transition all the listeners into like what I'm doing now. I guess my biggest worry is like, what if I start making a new genre of music? Like, I can't keep changing genres of music every 2 years, and because that's what I'm into. But I don't know, I'm super happy with what I'm making at the moment. And I guess as long as I can just keep within that Human Movement sort of vibe and sound, that's just like, I think the fans will still sort of, or the listeners will still, I guess, interact with that and enjoy it.
Definitely. And I think one of the big things about Human Movement, and I don't know if you sort of reflect on it, is the live. It's like 50% live, 50%, or you could argue even more live, in terms of just like where a lot of the attachment is to the brand, because the live sets have sort of become like not the live sets, sorry, just like the live atmosphere, whether you're DJing or performing live, has become quite, synonymous with the human movement brand, just as like a big party thrower. But I think like the last couple of tracks have been a lot more maybe intricate and like focused in sounding like maybe a lot more listenable, rather than it being like such a live driven sort of thing.
Yeah, well, I guess like I had all these previous tracks that have come out recently. They were meant to sort of be for an album, but I guess it didn't really pan out that way, and so we're just doing EP releases. So they all do have that, I guess, similar cinematic and cohesive sound. So they do sort of tie in with each other quite a lot. Yeah.
I feel like, let's just go all the way on just strings and, and arrangement and that sort of thing. It has come leaps and bounds, in my opinion. Talk through your musical background, because I think it's super interesting. Like, do you know music theory or have any practice in music to be writing, like, these big, atmospheric string sections and stuff?
I have a very, very basic, bad knowledge of music theory. But no, I'm not like classically trained or anything. Can't really read music that well. I played guitar for like 8 years till I was 14, but got into DJing and making music when I was about 14 as well. Got Ableton when I was still at 14. It's just using Ableton allows you to not be able to read music, essentially. And it gives you a really sort of easy platform to make these sort of, I guess, lush chords that you think would be done by, I guess, like a classically trained composer. But yeah, it's pretty cool how far music technology's come and like what you can do with it now. So yeah, to answer the question, no, I'm not really classically trained, but I just sort of really refining my craft and getting to know what the interface that I use and just knowing how to use it well. Because I'm 26 now, almost 27, so I've been doing this for 12 years, I guess. So you'd hope I know something about how to make a tune.
I did some digging, and obviously knowing you personally as well, there's a sort of like a musical score sort of like from movies and that sort of thing influence and sort of interest for you. What do you reckon some of the best scores that you've listened to or heard that accompany a movie great, and how do they, if there's one that directly sort of infiltrates maybe as an influence for a human movement song?
I've always just been like a crazy big fan of Hans Zimmer. Like his score for Inception and Interstellar, and even like shit like The Lion King. Like you just don't think he's just everything he's done. Like he's so versatile.
It's just chronic.
But yeah, he's just so good. So yeah, I'm like a huge fan of him. Philip Glass is pretty dope as well. I actually saw Hans Zimmer.
The Opera House?
At the what's that? Kudos? Kudos Bank Arena in Homebush, about 3 years ago, and it was like so epic. If he ever does come back again, I'll 100% be getting another ticket. But yeah, that definitely inspired me to sort of get more into film music. And funnily enough, I started doing my first film score for a documentary I think I was in the process of doing my first film score for this documentary when I went to see him. So that definitely sort of gave me a lot of inspiration to do this score. And I just got, it really helped out. And I think for my first attempt, not to give myself a pat on the back, but I think I did a pretty good job considering even like things like getting timing for like the whole, making sure all the beats hit at the right time and the right moments of like the film, like because you're refined to like a 4/4 time signature, but you have to make that work within what the visuals is doing. So it's like, it's weird. And not just like, you can obviously do different time signatures, but you're refined to a time signature, and you have to sort of determine which time signature and what tempo is going to work best for that scene.
Exactly, it's crazy. How much do you think that just taking your production side out of the box of dance music and into something completely different has helped when you write dance music or when you write, breaks or whatever?
Yeah, I think it's really helped. I think the best thing you can do when making a genre of music is to not listen to that genre, listen to a different genre, and to take, I guess, inspiration or ideas from those genres and incorporate it within, because that's how you get something different. Definitely. I mean, the songs that have come out recently, there's probably only 2 that I think have a bit of a cinematic experience to them, but like the back catalogue that's sort of yet to come out, but will hopefully be out later this year and next year. It's all like very big, like orchestral, I guess, chords and things like that. So I definitely take a lot of inspiration from that and try to apply it.
Yeah. Speaking of, what are you listening to now? What's big on the charty playlist that we wouldn't expect?
I don't even.
Or do you like listening to music even if it's a different genre when you're like deep in a production sort of phase? Or
I don't know, it's hard. I go through phases with music where I won't listen to it at all because I'm making it, and the last thing you want to do is fucking listen to more music after you've done like 8 hours on working on music. But then again, when you're a DJ, you need to fucking find new music for your sets. So
the group chat.
Yeah. So it's just like, it's a bit of like and I do love finding great dance music to play out and stuff like that. But I guess like an artist that would probably stick out the most to me at the moment is Delroy Edwards. He's sort of put out a release, I think it was like end of last year or something, which is great. Space Ghost. I don't know if you've heard of Space Ghost. No? Nah, Space Ghost is dope. He's had a couple of releases started this year and the last year, which have just been sort of that bit below 120 BPM, like slowed down house, but like, just real nice chords and just easy listening. But I tried not to listen to too much of like the heavier stuff, because I think it might saturate it for me, and I might not want to make it anymore.
At the same as well, if you listen to too much heavy stuff, it never lasts long.
Exactly.
Like, I've ruined my entire taste in everything above like 140. Like, because I just went through a phase where it's like I enjoyed listening to it, and like quick electro gabba stuff. It was weird because I'd get on the bus and listen to electro and listen to gabba, but like because it was weird because I liked it a lot. And then when I went out, I was like, oh shit, I love this stuff. But then after a period of time, it's like you can't listen to that music for too long. And then
you don't want to be that scat dude on the bus with their headphones on, just like
you just see that
8 in the morning, and then it's like, and like everyone's like, and you're smashing a mother, and you're just like, this guy needs to have a shower.
Because then what I found was if you take it away and you just see gabba in a warehouse at 3 a.m, that's in its purest form. That's the best.
And that's I think there's a time and place for all genres of music, and 8 o'clock in the morning on a bus is not the time for gabba. But
I'll test it. No, I'm just trying to think of all the brain cells I've deleted listening to that stuff, like hardcore in the morning and stuff.
It's pretty.
Can't be healthy.
I've got a friend that like loves hard.
Give him a shout out.
Like a huge Lady Lairds, Michael Lairds. Shout outs to you. He loves hard, and he makes hardcore as well. But he was telling me about these like fucking crazy genres. Like there's terrorcore, which is 300 BPM.
Oh, that's too much.
And it's just, and I was like, how do people dance that? It's just like the kick just must be like. I think
it's just the fierce.
It's just like. But it's just crazy how, and it's just so. It sounds like it's so big in the Netherlands.
Yeah, and Europe is so like, they're just parts of the world like where just like hardstyle is just like the craziest thing ever. But like I listen to a hardstyle song and it's like Jesus Christ, this chaotic thing. It's like merging like the faster technos with like Tiesto EDM.
Yeah.
It's just chaos. It's just...
Well, yeah, I think hardstyle's definitely taken that, I guess, it's definitely been commercialized to a sense. So I think hardcore still is quite authentic, but hardstyle is like...
it's the whole... It's like the difference between saying like a Butter Sessions house record and like Oliver Hilton's spinning record.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can't compare the two, although they might have similar BPM. Yeah. But yeah, they're two different worlds.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, and like all the hardcore stuff is just chaos sometimes, and like I don't know if you've heard of these blokes from like Newcastle, like old like 90s Newcastle hardcore stuff, Nas and Bluden, like Bloody Fist Records, and it's like they used to go to like the warehouses, like the industrial sections of Newcastle, and sample like them, like with grinding machines and like they're making steel.
What?
And then they made it into like these crazy hardcore tracks, and it's absolutely insane. But like I can like appreciate that from a distance.
Yeah.
But listening to it, it's like instant headache stuff.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Oh.
But yeah, you got to appreciate the I guess the effort that they're going. If they're going to a fucking factory and recording metalworks, I mean that's one step further in like the effort they're going to than me like finding a sample on YouTube and ripping it.
Don't tell the label.
Yeah, sorry, of Ledger. Doesn't actually happen.
Shit, that was a nice little... Fine, we're going a bit harder, so we'll talk about Elevate, because that's my favourite song that we put out by Country Mile. I remember when I first heard it, I literally liked... And I don't really like listening to unreleased music from the artists that I work for and stuff, because like, I don't know, it just feels weird.
Yeah.
You know, downloading something like, fuck, this rips, and then like having to work on it for 6 months to make sure it gets out. So, but like Elevate was like the only one around like, if we're at a party, like give us the aux and we play something just like blow the speakers out.
Yeah.
It's just dirty. It's got like 90s written all over it, which is like a big part of my taste, especially over summer.
Yeah.
Which is sort of where I thought that Sydney was playing a lot of stuff. Like it was very 90s, very just like...
That's the in thing now at the moment, isn't it? Everyone just wants to fucking play, I guess, like hard 90s rave tunes at the moment. Like, I guess what's interesting is like how much shelf life do you reckon this is going to have?
I don't know. I think that... I think this will keep. I think it's got way more shelf life than that Soul House sort of...
Yeah. But like, I mean, everyone probably thought lo-fi was going to keep, and then...
That makes me sad, because like lo-fi is the best. When you go out and see lo-fi, it's so much fun. Like, everyone's in such a trance, I reckon.
Yeah, it's like songs blowing speakers with the too much saturation on the master.
Yeah.
No, I do like lo-fi, and they definitely paved the way for like a lot of great artists like that are doing awesome stuff now. Yeah.
But I think that the sort of thing that happened with lo-fi is everyone that broke playing lo-fi and being huge in lo-fi is making completely different stuff now.
Well, yeah, you look at Morgrab. He's like, you listen to like his first like that Sade remix he did, and now you listen to him now. He's playing like, I think his last release was like him singing on like.
Yeah, there's a couple, and it's like half of them are nearly Gabba as well.
Yeah, he's going from Gabba to bloody Sticky Fingers vibes or something.
Yeah, pretty much. Even like Boring as well. Boring had like a trance song on his EP, like not like trance, but it was like closer to trance than it was lo-fi house.
Exactly.
So maybe I think that's, but at the same time, what a trend, what an era.
Yeah, so cool. But yeah, I guess going back to that 90s rave, like NRG, like warehouse music, it's pretty, like that's definitely, I guess in the underground world of dance music, that is, everyone wants to play that set at the moment.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie Beats?
Beats? No.
Have you heard about it?
No.
Oh, it's this, I'm going to get killed for this. Either Scottish or Irish. One of those two. And in like the UK in the 90s or whatever, they did this act that they like you couldn't gather around music, like centered around like 4 to the 4 beats.
Yeah.
And there's this movie about like how they throw this big renegade party like in a warehouse.
Is this where how Jungle was created? Or something?
No. It's like a fiction film.
Oh right. Okay.
And it's like it's insane. It's and it's like I've never seen a movie do so well in like just in capturing like what a warehouse party feels like.
Oh,
and,
really?
Like, cause like it's like so authentic. Like Cops Come gets shut down. Like
Yeah,
it's like
right.
this nice coming of age film. And I remember watching that for the first time. I was like, holy shit, there's so much good music in this movie. And then that's when like the 90s sort of like the delve into it. So like you have to watch Beats, and if you're listening to this, go. And because if you're this deep and engaged in Sydney dance culture, you have to watch Beats. It's annoying if you haven't watched it, because it's insane.
Okay.
Like this could have been set in Sydney in 2016 and it'll make sense.
Really?
Yeah, like it's amazing.
Fair. All right. Yeah, that's definitely on the watch list for tomorrow.
Elevate.
Yeah.
Where were you when you wrote it? What were you listening to? What were you thinking about? Was it that 90s stuff, or was it just like it just turned out? It's like, holy shit, this is like the drums are quite 90s or whatever.
I just moved back to my lease ran out of my place in Redfern, and I just moved back to my parents' place, and I was in what used to be my bedroom, but my parents had like converted it into like their like room where they have their nice things. And then I just like cleared all that shit out and decided to put all my studio gear in there. I made it in there. I don't know how I was listening, like the song that sort of I took a lot of inspiration from was Pump Up the Jam. But who's it by? Tectonic or something? Tektronic or something? Like, Pump Up the Jam.
I know, that's so weird. Iconic track.
Yeah.
You couldn't even... No idea who wrote it.
Yeah, I think it's like Tektronic. Like
one of those bastards.
My friends will kill me for this, but yeah. I don't know. I just think that bass line's just so popping, and I was like, I want to do a bass line like that.
Yeah.
And I just got Sound Toys, and I was like, damn, this like Sound Toys is like, yeah. If anyone's wanting to get into making music and you don't want to, and you're like not sure like what to buy for VSTs, get Sound Toys, because that shit makes your like just like gives you so much color and texture onto like all your bass lines or chords or whatever it may be. So yeah. Definitely get Sound Toys.
Tips.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely took a lot of inspiration from that track, just wanting to make that sort of like it's like a bouncy bass line.
Yeah.
And just sort of like rinsing hi-hats, and like Jack and I, we were like, we had, before we sent it to the mixing engineer, we're like, we need to really emphasize how harsh we're going to make these drums sound. Because when I sent him the first demo, he was like, this is hectic, but it's not like, if you really want to like encapsulate and like have that, I guess, 90s warehouse rave vibe, you just need to like harshen up your drums. So we were putting overdrives and saturators like on the hi-hats and just making them really like quite rough, but it works super well with the track. So yeah, I think overall it was great. It was just it was a fucking terrible time to put out such a club focused track.
But it was, the thing about it was, and spoiler, I work for the label as well. It's like a big circle jerk, pretty much.
Hence the
I don't know, it was just because I feel like that summer we had days, the days after party, even from the Universal show, Melbourne, the boat, and like every single show, when I saw you queuing Elevate, Liam was like, get the camera out, mate. This one's for the socials. Yeah, and I always put the pins up. And then, like, every time we recorded, it's like, everyone was like, holy shit, what is this song? And it's just like, it had to, like, people just had to have it.
Yeah, and the problem was, like, it worked so well in a club. Like, yeah, and that's exactly what it was made for. Yeah. But you don't want to fucking listen to it when you're in your bedroom. Like,
I've been.
Yeah. Well, like, it's not listening, like, it's club music. And it came out just as the world went into lockdown. So yeah, it didn't really perform as well as I thought. And I think maybe it'll get a second wave when the clubs open.
At the same time, though, it's hard to gauge performance in a traditional sense of like sales and stuff for a dance record, because you know what I mean? Like, an Elevate will have a second life, because when everyone goes back to clubs and you start playing it again, that track. And at the same time, it's like, that track is serving its purpose, whether it's out or not, really. Because it's like just like a live destroyer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's big. If I say so myself.
I love everything I make.
Yeah.
I'm the best.
Fuck, I'm good. Yeah, no, and I really, because I've never played that song after it being released. I've never played that in a club setting after it's come out. I've only ever played it pre-release. So I'm really interested to see when I do play that track again, how the crowd will react to it, and if it'll be any different to when I played it.
I think people will almost be expecting it as a set closer.
A set closer?
A set closer, right? You know when you go see a band or whatever, go see someone live, it's like, right, you know what they're going to close with, because it's the track, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's Elevate.
Fair. Well, I'll keep that in mind for the set list.
Lim will make me write it anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Shout out Jack Limmer.
Yeah, shout out Jack Limmer.
We hate you, bud.
Yeah. Trying to get me to reschedule this thing.
Look at us go. I bet you're sitting at home.
Yeah.
He's sitting at a lunch right now saying, oh, maybe we should. No. Look at this, mate. 32 minutes in, haven't even blinked enough.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more serious again, back to a bit serious, and knowing the project inside out, it's a bit easier to say from my perspective, but you've been playing a lot of unreleased songs, and, you know, they do change a lot, you know, throughout when you played them. You know, the first time we saw Elevate live, it was quite different to how it sounds now, and that sort of thing. How does it feel sort of finishing that last 10% of a track from it being like, I can play this live, it sounds great live, to being like, I'm ready for someone to listen to this in their ears?
It's so hard. I almost leave the last 10% to my mixing engineer, because like, it's just that's the hardest part, finishing a song. It's so easy to get it almost there, and then like, you're like, this is like a great idea, and blah blah blah, and then like, but you're like, how the fuck do I finish it? Like, and it's like, you just got to I reckon I spend 90%, 10% of the time getting 90% of it there, and 90% of my time getting the last 10% done. And then when it comes to sort of, I guess, like, I'll make sure the structure I'm really happy with, but just to make sure everything's sounding perfect, I'll always send it to a mixing engineer. And I'm sure my mix downs would be fine, like, and it would work on a system. But just to be like extra sure, it's always really, I think, important to get a second set of ears on it and just see how they interpret it and how they can make it work. Because you've heard this song 1,000 times in your head, and I think getting a fresh set of ears on it, and then to just be like, oh, I think this might work like this, and this might work like this, and then you hear and you're like, okay, sick. Yeah. And that, I think that's super important. And then, mastering, whatever, just gets that shit loud. But I think
just make it loud.
But I think the mix down process is super, super important. And look, if you want to do it yourself and you back yourself, 100%, like, that's fucking sick. But the way I do it, I like to get a second set of ears to do it.
Amazing. And also as well, when you're playing sort of the IDs out loud, do you like using sort of like, maybe not decisions of what to put out, but, you know, understanding maybe I should work a bit harder on this track and that sort of thing, is using the live space as like a road test for some unreleased
100%. I always road test my whips or like unreleased tracks, because like, I need to know if it's going to work or not. And like, whether that song's even worth even pursuing still. But I think it's super important to just make sure it like sounds, it's ready for a club. But I'd say 50% of the tracks I was playing in my sets were unreleased tunes.
Definitely.
So I think so important to road test and just gauge how the audience is vibing your tracks, and it means you don't have to download as much music, which is nice.
Another sort of serious question as well. We have almost not started to see it, but there's like maybe a bit of it manifesting, but it's a bit of a tough question. But could you see maybe the end goal of human movement being something outside of directly club or dance music, or do you think that human movement as sort of a brand or as a thing is always going to sort of keep its home in dance music?
I think human movement will always sort of have a realm in the dance world. I don't want to do human movement for my whole life though.
Yeah.
I'd like if I ever did like a film score, it wouldn't be film score by human movement.
It'd be by Eduardo Macdonald.
Yeah, by Eduardo Macdonald. Yeah, I think human movements has its world at the moment. That I'm super happy with where it sits. Yeah. Eduardo Macdonald's got his own little world as well in house music. I haven't really touched on that project for over 2 years now, but once I put out all these human movement tracks, it'll be time to jump back to the house train and calm it down a bit.
But these 90s kids get too carried away.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when the shelf life runs out on this 90s rave, I'll move to Eduardo Macdonald. I'm happy with where it's at the moment. But I don't know, it's hard to say like what the future holds for it. Like I might fucking just become a pop producer.
That's where the bag is.
If you want the money, that's where you gotta go.
Do you think you could ever, this is a bit of a rogue question, do you think you could ever see yourself writing, not for yourself or for your movement, but writing top lines and lyrics and sort of melodies for, pop artists, like that sort of thing?
Maybe not lyrics or vocal melodies, because I'm fucking shit at that. But I could 100% see myself doing instrumentals for pop artists, and I've got no qualms with a lot of pop music. I listen to commercial radio like a lot, which is weird.
Why is it weird, do you think?
I don't know. It's just so like outside of what I what I really do.
Being in a car park in Marrickville.
But it's sad to say, but if I had to pick from like Triple J, FBI Radio, or like 106.5 or 96.1 The Edge, I'm gonna listen to that shit hip hop song on 96.1 or that R&B song.
I'm gonna pause you right there. Look, I understand that because I'm going FBI over Triple J every day of the week.
Yeah,
and FBI can be a bit tricky depending on what time. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's sunsets.
Oh, sunsets I'm in.
Yeah.
Sunset sessions I'm in, all for FBI. And Triple J have a lot of great sort of shows as well.
The Ashton Shuffle Boys do their thing.
Ashton Shuffles, shout out to the Ashton Shuffle Boys, because they'll always play my release on their show. Whenever I got a new release, they'll always drop it. So shout outs to you guys.
But I like that there's like the fact that we have FBI and Triple J playing like proper genuine indie music.
Yeah.
And like proper underground stuff.
Yeah, it's
so crazy. And you have a choice. It's not like, I've only got one.
Yeah.
It's like you have a choice, especially in Sydney where FBI is so dominant.
It's so important that we have those stations like those where like it gives artists, like I'd be like nothing, I reckon, without those two stations like sort of pushing me through. Like they've both been super supportive of my releases. So I'm definitely not ragging on those two stations when I say. No. But yeah, if I'm on the way home from work and like I've had a full day,
exactly,
I might not want to listen to that atmospheric 8 minute down tempo ambience. I just want to listen to some fucking shit R&B music.
Rubbish, baby.
I don't know, a bit of fucking. Who do I like? I don't know. But
one of those bastards.
I was about to say R. Kelly, and I'm like, no, he's cancelled. He's cancelled.
It's true though, because like I love FBI when I'm working. Like if I'm sending emails out, if I'm writing interview questions, it's like if you put a sunset show, it's like time flies before you know it. You've written 2 essays. You know what I mean? But sometimes people just want to listen to rubbish.
Yeah, it's good. It's a guilty pleasure, and there's a reason why it's popular, because it's been it's been crafted to fucking appeal to a lot of people. So don't be ashamed if you like it.
Yeah. And like I love hip hop. It's pretty much like 90% of what I listen to.
Yeah.
It's not dance music, it's hip hop, and like hip hop's the most popular genre in the world. It's crazy.
It's so good.
Another one as well I wanted to ask you on this, because I'm super interested in this world now as well, is your set, or maybe on the more, the at-home listening sort of mixes and radio mixes and that sort of thing, and podcasts have gone very two-step and very UKG, which is like a world that I'm just drowning in at the moment, because it's just like an endless loop of like insane stuff.
Yeah.
When did you start dabbling into that world? When did you start getting into the UK stuff?
I mean, I've been into it for a while, I mean, you listen back to like previous releases like I Need, where it's got
Yeah.
like a 2-step beat and Uber Eats and stuff. I've always like dabbled in it and like had a lot of interest in it, but I guess I was like, I really want to sort of like that's the sort of shit that really does appeal to me, like in a club. So I was like, I'm gonna really focus on, like, don't get me wrong, I love 4 to the floor bangers, but there's nothing fucking hotter than a garage or 2-step beat like in a club, especially when it's like coming out of a 4 to the floor
Oh my God, don't even
thumper and it goes into like a 2-step route. It's just nice. It just changes it up, the setup so nicely, and flips it on its head a bit, and it's fucking cool, especially when the crowd like get it and they know, like, because there's been times like where I've played shows and like people just don't really fucking vibe the 2-step or garage situation.
A lot of people don't even vibe breaks.
Yeah.
Like if you play something that isn't.
Yeah, they want the 4 to the floor, and yeah, I mean that's only some sort of, I guess, crowds and things like that. But yeah, when the crowd gets it, it's like you're on like a same wavelength. It's hectic.
It's the best because it feels like getting the windmills out.
Yeah. When you get the shirt off and the fucking waving it around.
Even like, I feel like all my favorite moments, and like I've got so many great moments in clubs and open air parties and warehouses and stuff. But it's always the not cheesy. I don't mean to say cheesy, but you know what I mean when I say the cheesy UK pop garage record that everybody loses their minds to. They're the most memorable ones. Like, like a Sweet Female Attitude Flowers or something like.
Yeah, or that what's it called? Sincere by MJ Cole. Like, fuck, so hot.
Yeah, they're the best, mate. The windmills.
Yeah, that's when the windmills come.
Shit, 42 minutes.
Hey,
Couple quick fire questions.
We can keep going if you want. I've got nowhere to be, brother.
This is the thing, right? I haven't had this on conversation on the camera. Do you think, right, we're breaking the fourth wall here, third wall, whatever it is. If you were sitting down listening to an interview, would you rather go for an hour and a half or 45 minutes?
Oh, it's like a DJ set. It's like, do you want an hour or 2 hours?
Fucking marathon all-nighter.
I don't know. I've been sort of like dabbling in podcasts recently.
What's good? Talk to me.
Parry
Talks.
Parry Talks is up there. Nah, it's probably like a bit of a cliche, but I watched that fucking Joe Rogan one a lot. Just on like, not heaps, just like whenever I'm on like a long car ride or something, just put that on because like,
it's a must. It keeps you awake.
It's good listening. He's always got like super interesting guests that like of like, and from like different sides of the spectrum as well in terms of like, I guess, political views and things like that. Yeah. I'm also like a bit of a sucker for that true crime shit, like, that serial stuff. Yeah. But I do want to get into like more podcasts because like my housemate loves them. Like he won't listen to music or like watch TV. He'll put on a podcast.
I don't watch much TV or movies. But like before I go to bed at night, or like if I'm chilling out, clock off, I'll watch a podcast. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Cause
it's great. It's so easy to sleep to as well. And you know that fucking bright light shining in your face as you're trying to sleep to like a laptop or an iPad. Yeah. It's just like some dude talking to you.
Talking about mass murderers.
Yeah. And they found her body by the swamp.
I listened to a good one.
Sleeping in that.
I was up on my way to Byron last week. And apparently some bloke's been missing in Byron for a long time or whatever.
Yeah. That Swedish dude, that 18-year-old guy. Yeah. Because I like last year in September, me and like a bunch of friends went to Byron Bay for my birthday, and just like rented out a house. It was super fun. But yeah, we saw all these signs on like street poles of like this 18-year-old guy who, like,
just disappeared.
Yeah, and it's like, that's interesting. And then they found there was a second guy, wasn't there, that disappeared as well? Like similar.
I'm not sure.
Similar person.
I've just listened to just one podcast. I'm aware.
Oh, there's a podcast about
it. So there's a podcast about one of the blokes that went missing.
Shit.
It's really good.
Fuck.
And it's like so local. It's like shit. I know that exact walk up to the lighthouse. And stuff. Like.
Yeah, because that's the thing. He went to the lighthouse, and then they didn't see him again. Yeah. Do you reckon he jumped off? Do you reckon someone has taken him, or like?
Look, there's a big yarn at something like, I knew him so well, he wouldn't commit suicide. Yeah. But it's like that's not how mental health works. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So like, I think they write that off way too quickly in the podcast.
Yeah, right.
But
you would have found the body surely by now.
in the ocean. Could have got eaten by a shark or something.
Yeah, but sharks don't like human blood. So like as soon as they take a bite, it's always a test bite, and then they leave after that.
But you're vegan, right?
I am.
You were starving. You hadn't had food in 2 days. Would you have a chook?
Would I have a chook?
If you had nothing else to eat and there was a chicken there.
I wouldn't eat a chicken. I wouldn't eat chicken. I'd feel morally incorrect if I ate chicken. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Super interesting. I don't know. Because you can easily fall off the rocks and just...
Yeah, but I don't know, you'd find him. So it's a bit... Was he with someone? Does it say he was with someone?
No idea.
His clothes were there. They found his clothes,
Yeah.
right? Fuck.
It's crazy.
It's very interesting.
What can you do?
Super weird. But
Apparently you make music.
Yeah. And I do make music.
If you started a podcast,
yeah.
what would it be on?
What would it be on? I'd probably do it... Oh, that's a good question. I should be asking you this question.
I feel like you could have easily sort of this idea before I did.
Really? Me?
Well, I reckon if there was a character to do it.
Me?
To have an interview series with Sydney DJs.
I reckon I'm a fucking uncharismatic dude most of the time. As soon as a camera or there's a microphone, I just buckle under pressure.
I reckon you've done pretty well.
Yeah, but I know you, so it's different. We're just having a chat.
Yeah.
But if I didn't know who you were,
True.
and
come to this pub at 10 a.m. in the morning. Yeah.
Oh god. In this empty room.
Yeah, this empty literal bar.
Do you want a Pepsi Max? It's yeah, I'll have a Pepsi Max.
I offered a Carlton.
Yeah, you did offer a Carlton, but no, not after last night adventures. But yeah, no, Pepsi will do today.
Alright, couple quick fire questions.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait. Actually, you got to answer. What would your podcast?
Oh, what would my podcast be about?
I reckon I could see you doing a nature podcast.
Yeah, I like to sort of get a bit political about things, so I wouldn't mind getting, I guess, different sort of people from political groups and talking and just seeing where they're at and what. But that shit's fucking done, and there's 100.
Do you reckon it's done in Australia though? Properly? Friendly Geordies?
Yeah, you got Friendly Joys who does it super well, but I mean, he's just the most staunch Labor bloke you've ever met, and he plays it off as if Labor can do no wrong, and don't get me wrong, I fucking hate the Liberal Party, but exactly. I don't think the Labor's fucking too far off either. I mean, they do better, but yeah. They've definitely got their demons as well.
I just like the fact that there's a young Australian bloke putting videos up on YouTube.
Yeah, it's good.
And he's going off, the numbers are insane.
Yeah, and he's just spraying these
fucking
roads. Idiots. I'm yes!
Yeah,
tell him, friendly man. What's his name? Friendly Geordies.
Political Chachi.
Political Chachi.
Alright, I've got to ask actually, before we wrap up, where does that moniker come from? The whole Chachi and Eduardo Muchacho? What is it?
I was playing a show with a bunch of friends, and we decided it was at Tokyo Sing Song.
Was it a Lazy Sue?
No, it wasn't a Lazy Susan. This was probably 5 years ago. And they were I was on to play, but I couldn't use human movement. They're what do you want to be billed as? And I was I don't know. And everyone, they just gave everyone sort of I guess Spanish or Mexican orientated names. Yeah. So, one of my friends was called Senor Bilson and stuff, and I got Eduardo Muchacho. And I was
thought it was gonna be some great scat story.
Nah, unfortunately not. It's just
never is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's always just such a letdown. So there you go. Now you know. I've got this idea for Eduardo Muchacho and Human Movement, just because they're two different social media accounts. I'm going to start a little war, a rivalry between the two, and just start go on the Eduardo Muchacho account and be
fuck
it's
Eduardo
you
Muchacho.
fucking jacked my sound, you
jacked my look.
You took my look as well. Who do you think you are? And creative, because people like that sort of shit.
You just do it with me.
Yeah, I can do it with you exactly. Call Parry out.
Yeah. A couple quick fire questions.
Yeah.
Actually, I reckon for Eduardo Muchacho, because I'm going to be throwing these Parry Talks alumni parties, and we sort of had a small conversation about it.
Yeah.
We should relaunch Eduardo Muchacho, a Parry Talks alumni party.
We should, except I just need to make music for it so it can be relaunched.
True.
But when there is music, I'm
Mate,
more
I've
than
got
happy
you.
to relaunch
I'll book
it.
you. Pay
Yeah.
cash, mate. Don't tell the agent.
Yeah, but like the relaunch of Eduardo
Yeah.
Machacha with no music coming
Yeah,
out would
makes
just
sense.
be etch.
Just because I can't afford human movement, so we'll throw some money at Eduardo.
Just gotta, mate, you gotta throw bigger parties. That's all.
Alright, couple quick fire questions.
Yeah.
Best city in Europe?
I like Amsterdam a lot. I also really like Vienna a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, probably Amsterdam, Vienna. Also Montenegro is fucking cool. That's not like a city. It's more of a country.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think if you don't have much money, go to Eastern Europe and go to Albania and Montenegro and those Balkan countries, and you can live off. You can live for like $2, and it's like living on paradise on like the coastlines, like just the most picturesque beaches.
Amazing. Best festival in Australia?
I'm gonna say Strawberry Fields.
Right. Best boiler room?
Oh, fuck. Do you know what? To be fair, I don't even fucking watch boiler
Really?
rooms. Nah.
Not a-
Yeah. I don't know which ones. I haven't really seen any that.
I think that says a
the
lot.
only one that I fucking know that like there's like obviously you've got like the Hoonie one, the Motor City Drum Ensemble one. There's like the Black Madonna one. Yeah, I don't know.
There you go.
I guess just to answer the question, I've listened to the Motor City Drum Ensemble, both of them, the one he does at Deckmantle and the first one. I've listened to them both all the way through.
That says a lot.
So
Full credit.
there you go.
Right,
That
final
one.
sort of question.
Yeah.
You got to neck nominate someone to pull up to Parry Talks.
Oh,
Who needs their story told?
who have you
Who'd have a good yarn?
who have you gotten up so far?
Oh, fuck. More chance of you naming someone.
That hasn't gone
that
up.
hasn't gone
Okay, let me think.
It's only on 25 odd episodes.
Who do I know?
Limmer.
I don't actually know anyone in the music industry.
Chech.
Chech. Get Chech.
Limmer.
Do you want? Yeah. All right. You want Limmer? Is
Do you
Limmer
want me to say Limmer?
is Limmer interesting though? I think
we'll get 45
I
minutes
think
out of
Limmer would bore everyone to
No.
sleep.
The thing about Limmer is, we call him the king of small talk. He's the king of small talk.
Oh mate, have you
you-
had a phone call with that bloke? You can't get off. He's just
yeah, mate, yeah.
Oh, I'm just joking, Limmer. I love you, mate.
We hate you. Shout out Limmer. And do you want to give any shout outs while we're here?
Yeah, shout out to Chech, to Ian Pudding, Lodi's Hips, or Lodi Cody, Jack Mack. Fuck.
Just staring down the barrel of the camera.
Just having a bit of mind like do I have friends?
Shout out to everyone you were with last night.
Yeah,
mate.
shout out to everyone that
You're
was with me
living.
last night that got me through to here. Thank you.
Parry Talks, episode 20, fucking who knows what. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Fair chance that there might be some alumni parties coming up. If we do have some planned by the time this comes out, maybe even if it's 2 months in advance, it'll be at the top of the description. Top of the description as well, Bandcamp. All the black artists on Bandcamp. There's a big, encyclopedia of black artists you can support on Bandcamp as well, which will be at the top of every description. Thanks so much.
No worries.
Take
Thanks
care,
for having
lads.
me. Cheers.